In 1970, the average American saved 12.2% of their income. Today, that number is 2.6%. We make more money than any generation before us. And we also happen to be the one that spends the most. That's not a coincidence, that's a system. And before you start in the comments about it being political, I'm not going there. I'm talking about a system. And today I'm going to show you how that system actually works and how to step outside of it. A Goldman Sachs report found that 40% of households earning $500,000 or more still live paycheck to paycheck. Let me say that again. $500,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck. So if you've ever thought,
Also just building wealth when I start making more money.
I need you to hear this clearly. That's not how this works, and I can prove it. By the end of this video, I hope that you understand the mechanism that keeps high earners actually broke and modest earners wealthy. It's not complicated. It's not even a secret, but almost nobody talks about it directly. So let's get into it. Hey, I'm Mike Collins, and on this YouTube channel, we talk about personal finance and personal development. Look, I don't have all the answers. I'm building this in public, the wins, the losses, the mistakes, the actual numbers. But I've spent enough time studying this and studying myself to see the pattern more clearly now. And once you see it, you really can't unsee it. So let's start with why this happens. And the why is actually more valuable than any tip or trick I could ever give you. Here's the question nobody asked early enough. Why do you and myself want more money? Not how do I get more, but why? And if we're being honest, no one ever answers this question. So when more money arrives, a raise, a bonus, a better job, it flows into the only thing that you have ever defined, a slightly better version of the life that you have. Nicer car, nicer apartment, better restaurant, upgrading everything. Nobody intentionally sits down and says, I've decided to spend all the money that I have. It just kind of happens mysteriously, automatically, continuously after every raise. The pattern is actually predictable. You earn $60,000 and you spend $55,000. Let's say you get a raise to $75,000. Over time, spending creeps into $70,000. So in this equation, your income grew by $15,000. Your wealth building capacity barely changed. Look, nobody decided to do this. And that's the part that matters, because there was no why standing in the way of all of this. This is what is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single biggest reason why good income does not turn into wealth. Now let's get specific, because vague financial advice doesn't mean anything. Numbers do. Let's say there's two people, person A and person B. Person A makes $50,000 a year and saves 30% of it. Person B makes double that at $100,000 and only saves 10% of it. The fact is that person A is making half the amount compared to person B and saving more wealth over time, because compounding works on consistency and not income size. Let that sink in. The person making less money is outbuilding the person who makes more money every single time, because wealth isn't created by what you earn, it's created by what you keep and what that keeps doing after you stop touching it. The median net worth of Americans under 35 is $39,040. By 35 to 44, it's $135,300. By 45 to 54, it's $246,700. Most people look at that progression and think, yeah, it just takes time. Net worth naturally grows as you get older, right? The truth is, it doesn't. It grows for people who built a system. For everyone else, that same progression looks completely different. Flat or barely moving. And that's regardless of what they earned along the way. Here's what surprised me when I actually looked into this. The enemy isn't a lack of income. The enemy isn't a lack of investment knowledge. That is plentiful. Hear me out on this. High income doesn't protect you from bad income architecture. It often hides it. I want you to really hear that sentence. A high income doesn't fix a broken system. It just makes the broken system harder to see, because the bank account still looks good on the surface level, even while nothing else is compounding underneath it. This is what happened to me with my Yield Max funds that I did a video about earlier. The distributions made my account look healthy. They were coming in every week, every month, while underneath that, the principal was quietly eroding. A high number on the surface and a broken architecture underneath it. That's the same exact pattern, but a different scale. Now let's address something. This is not a personal failure of yours or myself. The environment is working against us. Consumer sentiment sits in a pessimistic territory. Households are behaving like they're running out of time. In 2025, only 21% of Americans actually were able to contribute to their emergency funds. Everyone around you is participating in the same system. We are in the same fishbowl, spending what they earn and upgrading what they can afford. And we call it normal because that's what everyone else is doing too. That's the trap. Lifestyle inflation doesn't feel like a mistake when it's happening. It honestly feels like genuine progress. It finally feels like you're living the life you deserve to live. It's not until years later looking at a net worth that has not moved as to what the actual cost was. So here's the fix. This is not 10 tips, 5 tips. It's just one mechanism that I'm going to give you. The moment that you know that you're going to get a raise, a promotion, a new job, or a birthday card from grandma that has $2 in it, move a percentage of that towards investment immediately. That's it. That's the entire system. What never enters your spending cycle is never missed. Not try to save more, not try to spend less, not be more disciplined. It's a mechanical rule that takes the decision away from you before lifestyle inflation can even get a vote in. This is exactly why I automate all of my own contributions. Every week, money moves before I can rationalize how to use it, before lifestyle inflation can even get a chance. Let's face it, a $200 raise that goes all into savings is a win. A $2,000 raise where you only contribute $200 into savings, let's be honest, is lifestyle inflation disguised. This isn't a money problem. It's an identity problem. The version of you that spends every raise is protecting an identity. The identity of someone who has made it, who deserves nice things, who shouldn't have to live like they're still struggling. The version of you that builds wealth has a different identity. Not someone who deprives themselves. We're not going full Dave Ramsey on this. Someone who decided in advance what to do with their money before they let money tempt them into things that they shouldn't be doing. You don't rise to the level of your income. You fall to the level of your system. The S&P 500 has averaged over 10% for literally decades, give or take. That number is literally available to anyone that has internet access or access to a book. It does not require a 6-figure income. It does not require special access to a club. It's literally just sitting there waiting for someone to build a system that gets money into it before lifestyle gets a chance. Let's face it, the gap between people who build wealth and those who don't was and has never been about income. It has and will always be about architecture. If this video made you feel uncomfortable or even possibly hate me at this point, good. That usually means it landed somewhere true. And I'm not exempt from any of this. I've made the same mistakes. I'm building a real system in public, on the internet, right here on this channel, including the parts that don't work. If you want to see future content about how I'm trying to automate these processes, maybe I'll make a future video of that. If you like this video, please click the like button. It helps a lot. Hit subscribe if you want to follow along for future content. Drop a comment down below. What is one thing that you recently have upgraded in your life that now that you've heard this, you kind of regret that decision? And maybe I'll add mine to the mix. I'm Mike Collins, and remember, stay consistent out there.